All right, so welcome back to another exciting episode of The Wrap on the WideFox. So with the front passenger side done, I'm just going to go ahead and take care of the driver's side fender. Now the work itself is going to be pretty much the same thing. One major difference, or one minor difference really, is that the length that I talked about on the passenger side being 55 inches, I've went ahead and changed that. Now, one thing I did struggle on the very far corners where I had said, you remember it kind of swoops down and goes away from the panel itself, kind of back towards the door and towards the front edge of the bumper. That dimension got really tight. I ended up having to make a small splice on the passenger side at the very front far corner. Wasn't much, but it was enough that I just went, I got to fix that next time. So the dimension I chose to go with on this side is going to be 58 inches. So I've added 3 inches total to the length of the piece going fore aft. Now I've already checked, that should be okay, but I'll show you at the end kind of how much it overlaps compared to the other one. Should be enough, should be about 1.5 inches to make it work, and it's almost overkill on the back, but that's kind of the breaks of it a little bit. All right, so one note I want to show you guys is kind of how to size this stuff out. And of course, when it fits, it's going to be kind of bulky. But I've made myself, and this is just dry erase marker, I've made myself an index. So this edge to here is 5 inches, which covers the 2-inch extra to be able to wrap around the edge, plus they go down and across the front fender there. This marks where my hood is. Now if I come over to the other side, what you see here is hood alignment. This is where my fender stops, and then you can see right there where my cowl stops. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I've got the backing on, so it slides at this point. Once I take that backing off, I need to be able to index this back to where I know it's exactly in position. So I can use a triangulated method basically on this to make it work. I can then come back, make sure that's done, and once I know the lines are lined up, I can then start squeegeeing it on, making sure it all presses out.
Next level. Next level.
So, had a little bit of an issue here with the fender. Had a spot that I could not get to really stick. And I really have been kind of unimpressed with the amount of dirt and crap I've had on this fender. I was willing to go for it because I didn't want to waste the material, but tell you what, I had a little bit issue around the rear side of the body molding near the door. Just wouldn't stick at all. So I tried putting some ProBond on there, see if I could just try and salvage the piece, and that really made it worse, honestly. So I am going to scrap this fender, start over. There's the material. That's what $50 looks like. So anyway, can't allow this car to be imperfect, I guess, or something like that if I'm gonna try to do a business. So I made the call. Can't piece it together. It's gotta look great. So start over. I'm gonna completely resand the fender, and I'm gonna start this complete process over. So that's the brakes for the day. Ain't gonna work. Hang out. I'm gonna get this thing going again, and I'll show you the finished product after it's right. All right, so here's try number 2. Same process, same cut. Now 58 inches, I'll tell you, if I showed you right down here, 58 inches is just barely gonna cover this tip. So just be warned, you can see it kind of go from, this piece here is missing. You're gonna have to really stretch 58 to get this to go around, but if you want a little bit more than that, just go 59, maybe 60. Give yourself a little extra. But you can see, all purple, green, all the way around. If I show you the molding here, now this is, yesterday I had trouble all in this area trying to get it to fit and to stay adhered. And look at that, nice. Okay, so that is the end of the front fender. Now thankfully, I guess technically I've wrapped 3 fenders now. Every time I've done it, I've cut time off. Obviously I'm getting better at it, thankfully. I'd be scared if I got worse. But the first one took me about 4 hours. The next one took me about 3. This one took me somewhere in the 2.5 range. So not bad, getting better, quality's better. So that is it. And just remember, if you're doing this, take your time. Don't get flustered. You're going to make mistakes. That's the unfortunate part of it. And that's how you're going to learn. I definitely learned a couple things on this. And I don't plan to make those mistakes again. So with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And subscribe if you haven't, so you can see the full build. And that's it from Basin Motorsports. Here's a final look, and we'll see you next time.